Okay, so we're cruising right along. We are in 9 and 10 right now. I'm going to do both of those together because they are both super heavy reliant on the unit circle. So this unit circle thing tells us a lot of information about all of our trig stuff. It slowly kind of ties it all together. So if you don't have one, I'm not saying you're a bum, but get one. So this says, in which quadrant does theta lie if the following statements are true? So sine greater than 0. So here's a quadrant, right? And actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw it a little bit bigger. So sine is positive here and here. Those are the two places sine's positive. If you don't have your unit circle, maybe, where's yours? Oh, I guess I don't have it pulled up. Anyway, if you don't have yours, you might want yours. It might make your life a little bit easier. But that's where sine is positive. We have that written in there on our unit circle. Hopefully you have it written in on yours. Cosine negative. So cosine happens to be negative in two spots. Cosine's negative here, and cosine's negative here. And that makes sense because cosine is tied to the x, and x is negative as we go this way. If we want to think about the same thing for sine, sine's tied to the y is positive going up, so we take the two sides that are above. Anyway, as far as where they are the same, or where they are both, where both of these statements are true, that is in Q2, right? Because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And in Q2, that's where we care about this. So if we come to the next one, where is sine less than 0? Well, sine remembers the y. We just said that. Y going negative means going down. So sine is negative here, and sine is negative here. Tangent. Okay, so tangent's the weird one. Tangent, remember, is x over y. Nope. Y over x, right? It comes from dividing the two of them. It comes from dividing the y that's sine divided by the x that's cosine. And if we want tangent to be negative, that happens in two spots. It happens here. It happens here. Because that's where sine and cosine are different, right? For tangent to be negative, that means sine's positive, cosine's negative, or the opposite's true. Anyway, as far as us, for what we need right now, we are in Q4, where that happens to be the case. So, cool. Question 10. Question 10, again, is a unit circle question. So, in your unit circle, and I'm just going to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull mine up. So, hang on 1 second. Let's do this. See, I thought I had it up. I think this should work. So if I'm looking sine 150, I'm going to find a 150-degree angle. And we are going to... No, that's... Okay. We are going to make this work. Whoops, but not like that. More like this. And that's itty-bitty, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. That's close enough. Okay, so sine 150. So 150 is in that Q2, and it's got an ordered pair of negative root 3 over 2 and 1/2. So here's 150. I won't do this for all of them, but there's 150. And if you remember, in the unit circle, sine is y. Let's write it actually like an ordered pair. So cosine is our x, sine is our y. So sine 150, that's the y value that I care about, so I need 1/2. Sine negative 300. Well, negative 300, that means I'm going to go around, not all the way around, because I'm not going a full 360, I'm only going 300. Which means I'm getting to 60, right? And there's all the information for 60. And in terms of sine for 60, or excuse me, sine for negative 300, which I guess is the same for sine for 60. Taking the y values, I'm taking root 3 over 2. Tangent 0. Let's leave tangent for a second. Let's do these cosines real quick. cosine 315. So cosine 315, here's 315. Cosine is the x-coordinate, and the x-coordinate here is root 2 over 2. Cosine 5 pi over 4. 5 pi over 4 is right here. And the cosine of that would be the x-coordinate, and that's negative root 2 over 2. And then it looks like these last 5 that we haven't done are ones that are a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to slide my unit circle off so I have a little bit more room to write. But tangent 0 is going to come from doing the x-coordinate of 0 divided by the y-coordinate of 0. So I was going to make this bigger. There we go. No. Oh my gosh. What is happening here? Okay, here we go. So tangent 0. So we're going to do, remember, tangent is y over x. And so for 0, now I don't have my unit circle pulled up, but I know you do. We are going to do the y-coordinate divided by the x-coordinate. And then it's just 0. Tangent 0 is 0. So that's exciting, but not all at the same time. 7 pi over 6, definitely going to be more exciting. So 7 pi over 6, according to our unit circle, it has an ordered pair like this. Negative root 3 over 2, and then negative 1/2. So if I want to set up the tangent, I'm going to put the y-coordinate on top and the x-coordinate on the bottom. Now, the negative is just going to cancel, so from here on out, I'm going to think in terms of positives. But if I multiply by the reciprocal, then I'm going to end up with 2's that cancel. I'm going to get 1 over root 3. If you stop there, I'm good with that. If you want to, and if you look at it in other places, you're going to see it written with what's called rationalizing the denominator. And that means we just take this root 3, and we pull it out of the denominator by multiplying. And this is the answer we get. Now, these two are the same. Right? One just came from rationalizing the denominator, doing that extra step, but they both are the tangent of 7 pi over 6. Cosecant of 3 pi over 4. So remember, cosecant is related to sine. Cosecant is sine. So if I want to know the sine of 3 pi over 4, I can get that from my fabulous unit circle. I can go to 3 pi over 4. And when I get there, 3 pi over 4 is in the second quadrant, and we know that sine is y, and so sine of 3 pi over 4 is negative 2 over 2. So we're going to flip that. And then just like with tangent, we can what's called rationalize the denominator, which means we can get that square root of 2 out of there by multiplying. We get this, and those two cancel. The 2's, cancel, and there we are. Secant 240. Secant just happens to be connected to cosine. Cosine 240, where are you at? 240 is negative 1/2. And the reciprocal of negative 1/2 is negative 2 over 1. And that's just negative 2. That is a nice one. Cotangent 180. So cotangent, remember we said tangent was y over x. Cotangent is the reciprocal, x over y. So if I look at 180, the ordered pair for 180 is negative 1 over 0. So the x part was negative 1 over 0. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. Okay? If you have been kind of following along and paying attention and doing things you're supposed to do, you know you have a table that has those last 5 we did. table has like all those reciprocally ones done for you. So hopefully you've got that written down because that might be helpful to make your life a little bit easier. Sorry, this one's a little bit longer, but hopefully it helps.